It's Friday, February 21st. Yo, today has been insane. Okay, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I'm finishing up work. I was feeling horrible this morning, like mid-morning. I was feeling so bad that I was curled up in a ball and I was just like, this is not a good moment. And I was just kind of frustrated because I was like, this is not the time to feel this way. And I didn't know if I was getting sick, and like, I have a really bad headache. And more than that, it was just pretty much from head to toe. I was like, I do not feel good. I just need to get up. Like, I need to get out of the house. I go and I'm shopping for Res. Like, I got some socks, and I was gonna go get some like washer sheets or something because you can't have liquid. I'm in the store and I get a call, and it's my area code. I get on the call and this person is like, Miss Dale? And I was like, yes, this is she. And he was like, this is Officer Michael. I'm calling to inform you that there's a warrant out for your arrest. And I was like, for what? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, back in November, you were summoned to go to jury duty and you failed to appear. And so I had 2 charges apparently. And he said, we have on record from the post office that you signed when you got the letter notifying you that you were due to go to jury. And I said, look, dude, I even said that. I surprised myself with how I speak. I need to change how I speak to officers. But essentially I said, look, dude, I don't purchase many items, like ever, like, and especially not delivered to my door. Like, I said, it's a big deal if I get something delivered to my door. I was like, I will track it and watch it. And I was like, I can tell you the last thing that I purchased. And I was like, outside of that, like, I can look at my Amazon history and like, it is sparse. Anyways, I was like, I would have seen it. I would have remembered signing for something. But then I started to doubt myself because I was like, my memory sucks. Like, y'all have been on this journey long enough with me to be like, she could have missed that. And then, my roommate was here at that time, and I was like, maybe she, and so I texted her, and she's at my house, and I was like, hey, like, and I'm still out and about. I was like, hey, like, can you look at any letters on like where we keep letters and see if there's like a jury summons? And then also, like, do you remember ever signing for anything in November? See, it's already happening. All right, I'm gonna pause here. So I was like, yeah, do you remember signing anything? She's like, I don't remember signing for anything. I was like, okay. And then looking for letters, didn't see anything about jury. I kind of was like, I feel like this isn't fair. Like, you're telling me like I have a warrant out for my arrest. And I was like, from something back in November. And then he said, well, I'm gonna need you to come into the sheriff's office today. And if you do not come right now, then I'm gonna send someone out to arrest you. And I was like, and I kind of started getting mad, guys. I was like, ooh, Janie fights back. It was different than I thought I would have been in that situation. I will say that. So I started to be like, why am I getting a call on a Friday afternoon? And I was like, you're saying I have to come down to the sheriff's office right now so that you can see, like, he was saying that they had, I forgot the name of the person, whatever it was, it's like the correct name, but like, he was like, I need to get your signature, obtain your signature and give it to our specialist. And if it matches, I will detain you and you will be kept for 72 hours. And then after that, once you post bail, then you will have to go to the court, and that could take up to 10 to 30 days. And the judge will have to determine if you're found guilty or not. Saying a lot, and I was just like, nah, what? And I was like, 10 to 30 days, like, I wasn't telling him this, but I'm like, I'm going to Res, like, I can't be, this isn't happening. And I also was like, no, I didn't, and I even said, I was like, I would have known if I signed something. I was like, and I said, my handwriting sucks. And I was like, when people sign stuff, they just go, and he was like, this is the address, and it was my address. And he said, it is your name who signed it. And I was like, I'm telling you right now, I did not sign anything. And I was like, I was like, what if I wouldn't have taken the call? Like the fact that I took this call like on a whim even, I started just kind of, your girl was not having it. And he was like, then I would have sent someone to the house to arrest you. And I was like, but why now though? I was like, you're saying that you have to handle this today. And and this happened in November. Like, why am I just hearing about this now? I was like, shouldn't I be able to know that I'm in trouble about something that like I didn't even know that I did prior to this moment, like prior to this conversation? And he said, if you hang up or if any disruption to the line happens, I'm sending someone out to your house to arrest you. And I was like, and you will be detained. And he's like, we can go about this two ways. We can go about the criminal way, and then I forgot the other way. And he's like, which way do you want to go about this? And I was like, I paused. And I was like, well, tell me what are my two options? He's like, you can come here and you can sign. And if your signature matches, I'm going to detain you right there and you're going to be arrested. And he's like, and then you're going to have to go through that process. And he's like, but if your signature doesn't match, then I'll let you go. And I was like, I don't trust this at all. I was like, you won't, like, who's going to risk that of like, if I show up at the office and you potentially, based off of your specialist, is going to say whether my signature matches or not. I was like, my signature doesn't match my own signature. I was like, I have the worst handwriting. I change up, because I was like, I didn't say this, but like, I don't go by my real name. I don't sign my name like very often. I don't use pen to paper. I was just having a moment. I was like, you were going to if you were going to detain me for 72 hours based off of a signature. And I was like, I can tell you right now, I didn't sign something. I would have known I was supposed to go to jury duty. I would have 100% go to jury duty. And I was like, if this is how you inform people about how they're supposed to serve jury? And I said, honestly, I wouldn't have been a good candidate anyways. Cause like, I would be the worst person to have on a jury duty. Like, you would literally dismiss me the second that I walked in. And he was like, that doesn't matter. And I was like, and he said, ma'am, I need you to like, he's like, I appreciate your energy. And he's like, I've spoken to so many people before. And he's like, I've never encountered someone like you before. And I was like, well, like, I just don't like this. And you caught me off guard. And I feel like I'm in trouble for something that I'm like, I was like, I was just shopping. Like, you called me on a Friday. Like, I'm like, I'm just having a moment here. And he's like, it's like, I understand. And I was like, this is a lot. I was like, this is scary. I said that to him. I was like, this is scary. And and he's like, I'm just trying to help you. And I was like, the biggest thing that you've done in helping me is you've shot my cortisol through the roof. And I was like, I'm just going to need a minute. And he was like, well, I have to stay on the line. And I was like, all right, well then, since you have to stay on the line and I have to stay on the line, I started just asking him questions about himself. Using language that's like, honestly, like, I was like, I'm gonna need you to explain this to a place where I can understand it. I said, you are at a doctorate level of explaining things up here when it comes to like this police jargon. I'm gonna need you to step it down. He's like, okay, I'll do it in layman's terms. I'm like, no. I need you to go lower than that. I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. And he's like, I understand. And I was like, no, you don't. I was like, if you were saying you were about to arrest me for something, I'm gonna need you to spell this out pretty clear on everything that I need to do so that if I walked into this sheriff's station, I am not getting arrested. And he was like, okay. And he was like, I need to get you to tell me your odometer reading. So I was like, 68985. And he was like, okay, well, you're gonna need another form of identification. And I was like, do you think I just carry my passport with me? Y'all, I like actually thought I had my passport with me because of the puppy stuff. And I was like, look, I'm gonna have to go by my house and I need to talk to my roommate because honestly, I need her to pray for me right now because I feel scared and I'm gonna need a minute. And I said, I'm gonna go to the house. But first I went to the bank and I was like, so how much are you telling me that I have to get out? And he was like, get out $3,100. And I was like, do you think I just have $3,100 laying around? And he was like, well, no, ma'am. But he was like, if you need to go to the bank to get it, then go. And so I went to the bank and I got $3,100 out. And then I came to my house and I was like, I have to go to my house. I said, 1, I need to go to my house because I need to identification. I was like, 2, honestly, I need to pee. And then 3, I want my roommate to pray for me. And that's what I told him. I said, I'm gonna leave you in here. I'll leave my car on. And I was like, I'll be back. But I was like, I'm not hanging up, but I'm not taking you into my house with me. And he was like, all right, that's fine. And so he waited and it took like 10 minutes. Cause I was like, my roommate and I were like catching up and stuff. And I was like, well, I have to go. And so I got back to my car and I was like, all right. The guy sent me to a location where he was like, well, we hired a third-party vendor, and he was like FDIC, and like he was using language that I said, hey, you're doing that thing again where like I don't speak this language, so I'm just gonna need you to give me an address. And I was like, where do I have to go? And then I started saying, I was like, why can't I not just show up with the bail money, and if I'm caught, if I'm guilty for whatever, if you're found me guilty for whatever reason, then I just post it right then and there, or give it to my roommate. Why do I have to do this? And he's like, this is just how we handle this. This is a third party. He's like, if you show up at the sheriff's office right now, I will have to arrest you. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to get arrested. So like, tell me where I need to go. Give me the address. And he gave me the address. And I was like, dude, like, this is at an ABC store. Like, where are you sending me? And I was like, is it not like, or am I not going to the court office? Am I not going? So I started kind of getting like, what are you doing? And he was like, I didn't choose this location. This is just how we have it set up through our third-party vendor. And he was like, hold on, let me pull up an exact location. And so I did. And I like on the door see the 293. And I was like, this is literally a kava bar. I was like, do you realize that you, a sheriff, are sending me into a kava bar to go post bail for something that I'm telling you I did not do or did not knowingly do? And I was like, do you realize that this is a kava bar? And he was like, well, ma'am, if you're uncomfortable, there's another location 30 minutes away. I was like, I'm not driving 30 minutes. I was like, it's already late on a Friday afternoon, and if you're saying you have to handle this today, I'm not taking my chances. I'm not hedging my bets here. Like, this is the thing that I said right before I got out of my car to go into the kava bar. I said, if you are not a sheriff, then honestly, you deserve this money because you are very good at this. And he laughed and he's like, this is my badge number. Like, I am a sheriff. I can guarantee you. Yeah, like it was, I don't think I'm someone who's easily fooled. And this was the closest I ever hoped to get. And so that's kind of why I'm putting this out there of like, just be warned. I mean, like maybe y'all are listening to this being like, duh, I knew that was a scam, but like you were not in the conversation. And like one was really scary because I am someone who has a bad memory, and like the whole jury stuff, like I've never served in jury before, and maybe that's like common knowledge to a lot of people of how that looks. Your girl, I've never gone to a jury duty. I don't know anything about it. I don't know I don't know if that even comes to the mail. I have no idea. And so like maybe I just have a lot to learn, but like that was not a fun encounter. And so I walk into the kava bar and he's like, you should see like a box thing where you like, and he sent me this, a scan thing, this scan thing. See that? That's what he sent me. And he's like, this is attached to your like 2 fines, like the warrant and I don't know the other word that he used. And I was like, what? Because he said, I'm waiting for the magistrate to send me the charges and the paperwork for your warrant. And I was like, and he was like, this is what you need to scan. And I walked up and I said, the only thing that I see besides bongs and weed, and I said, it's this little like Bitcoin thing. And I was like, I don't know, I have never done anything with Bitcoin. I don't know jack squat about Bitcoin. Yeah, and I was like, dude, this is real sketchy. I was like, why can't I come to the sheriff's office and do this? I'm not doing this. And the person that I think's the owner of the store, Spencer, he was like, can I? And I was like, yes. And I put who I thought Michael, the sheriff, was on speakerphone. And Spencer was like, I think that you're getting scammed. He's like, I'm just gonna say it. He's like, I watch this stuff all the time on YouTube. And he's like, I think you're getting scammed. And Michael was like, Janie, like, or no, he didn't say it because he doesn't know my name. He said, Mary Jane, like, this isn't I'm not scamming you. He was like, I will arrest you. I will come to your house right now. And he's like, I will come to this location right now and arrest you if you hang up the phone or if you do not do this. And I was looking at Spencer and I was like, I've been on this phone for like over an hour. I was like, what if I'm not getting scammed? And he's like, I would hang up. And I was like, can I use your phone and call the real cops? And Michael, dude, was like, this is my badge number, said that again. And he was like, this is where I work. And he said, he gave the number and I said, can you look up the number? And it was to the police, like the local police here. And this guy, Spencer, was like, Janie, he's good at this stuff. He does this. Like, this isn't, he is a scammer. But I was like, do you hear him? He doesn't. And he was like, I am telling you, this is a scammer. And I looked at him and I was like, okay. And Michael hung up. And I was like, and I called the cops and I reported them. And that felt really good. And I looked and I was talking to the people in the kava bar and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, that was so terrifying. I was like, I'm shaking. And I was like, the thing that's scary is I don't want to go to my home because, like, what if I actually do have a warrant out for my arrest? And they were like, I guarantee you that you do not. I was like, but what if I do? So I'm on the phone now with like what I think is what is actually a real cop. But I was like, after that, I literally just called 911. I tried to call like the non-emergent number and they didn't answer. And I was like, you know what? Like, I actually am kind of fearful right now. Like, I'm calling. I called and I said, look, I'm sorry that I'm calling you, but like the other number didn't answer. And I was like, it's not an emergency, but like it is like a situation. And he was like, he's like, well, I don't know if it's under my jurisdiction. I was like, well, can I tell you and then you decide and then we go from there? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I told him and he was like, you are 100% being scammed. And I was like, oh. He's like, they love to use the jury one because a lot of people are so fearful of that and they don't know if they actually missed it. And it is a big deal if you do miss that. And I was like, yeah, no kidding. And then he connected me with the local police and like I filed a report through her. And then while that's all happening, the dude texts me, Michael, and he said, I mean, I'll just say it verbatim. Damn girl, my bad. Hope you ain't too mad at me. Be honest, I had you though. Laugh face. And I responded and I said, honestly, you really did. I don't consider myself an easy person to fool, and that was the closest I have ever been to being scammed. You seem like a really kind and smart guy. I think you have a whole lot of potential to be making money in a legal way and to genuinely help people. You truly seem like you have a kind heart, and I wish nothing but the best for you. Even though our encounter was for the hustle and scam, I did enjoy getting to speak with you, and I hope you really do like country music and that you do have a great relationship with your mailman. Truly, I wish you the best, and I hope you find a way to utilize all your potential for good. Best wishes, MJ. Because he knew me as Mary Jane, and I was like, I'm not giving you mine. You don't get to know me as Janie. And he did respond back to that. Yeah. But if anything, I was like, man, that just must suck to like, I'm sure there's a lot of adrenaline that comes with like scamming people and stuff, but I can't imagine what it feels like to like be looking over your shoulder and like think that at any moment you can get caught because it's just not worth it. Even the cop said this. She was like, we might not catch him today, but we'll catch him. And I was like, I want him to catch him. I want him to want to be different and like do differently. So that was really stressful. Like, at the kava bar, the guy said, I think you could use this. And he gave me this for free. He was like, you can have this. He's like, I'm stressed out for you. I was like, thanks, Spencer. I don't even know what this is. Pina colada. Sugar-free, non-alcoholic. Hey, sweet. I don't know. I'll have to Google it. I don't know. Like maybe this seems like how the heck, but I'm telling you, guys, like that dude seemed so legit. That was wild. Like, and I was talking to my roommate about it when I was like, got home and I was like, the thing is what made him so good is that he put in real components of himself. At least I thought so. That's why I said the country music thing, because we were talking about music and he told me his favorite country song. And he ended up, in his response, he was like, no, I actually like really do love country music. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, I hope that you feel seen like not as the scammer, but like you are a person, like even outside of your scams and your fraudulent stuff, like there is a person there, and there is good there. I know there's good, because he genuinely, like, I choose to believe that I don't think you could fake being a good guy like that. Or like, I don't think you could fake being a person that seems so kind-hearted. So, I see you. You're more than a scammer. But dang, you almost scammed me.